So, exploring the commandment, part 3. Okay. Our opening prayer is. Wait. Okay. In the beginning was the Word.
And the Word was with God.
And the Word was God.
The Word was in the beginning with God.
The Word had power.
Wonder-working power.
The power to create. The Word said, "Light," and there was light.
The Word said, "Earth," and there was earth.
For 6 days the Word spoke.
And on the seventh day the Word rested.
And in this way everything that came into being through the world.
And without
Oh, Word.
not one thing came into being.
I don't like this. And what had come into the Word was life.
And the light was the light of all people.
The light shines in the darkness.
And the darkness has not overcome it.
Amen. Oh, okay. That means John's coming. Hang on 1 second. Because okay, hang on. No, I've got it. Okay. Okay. Gather. Okay. Updates. There's volunteering. There's outdoor work day, November 2nd, 10 through noon.
Can I say what the outdoor work day is?
Yeah.
The outdoor work day is working outside with like plants and cleaning up the garden areas and stuff like that. So you like to be outside doing like cleaning up the yard work and stuff like that. I've heard the outdoor work day is a lot of fun. Thank you.
I've done it, and it is a lot of fun.
Well, there we go. We have 2 people. Nice job. It's at our church.
Okay. Open table is November 17th. Bowl paintings for open bowls is December 1st. Go. I don't go.
So bowls, have any of you been to open bowls before? It's a soup, lunch, or dinner down at Festival Hall. And the idea is it's a fundraiser, but what the fundraiser is you buy a bowl for your soup, right? And so what we're doing here is 18 bowls for people to buy for their soup as a way of fundraising. It's a lot of fun, it's like crazy. Okay, let's go.
Okay. And then worship assistance is any Sunday. And then some people got confirmed.
Yes!
Okay. The rest of this calendar year, this next week, and the next week, 10 Commandments, November 13th.
All right. Well, Pierce, you were awesome. You were awesome. Thank you. Seriously, you were. Yeah, give Pierce a small round. Sure. Yeah. All right. So yeah, this week and next week we're doing the 10 Commandments. And then November 13th, start saving your money. I think anybody of you who have done shopping before knows it's a lot of fun. Yes? If you haven't done it before, just trust me, it'll be a lot of fun. But it works best when we have money to put to the shopping. So if you're able to save some of your money or maybe work for some money at home or so on, that's a really nice thing to be able to do. All right, with that, that's right, ask me a question. Does anybody have any questions? Yeah. I am. I'm a businessman. Any other questions? Yes. My wife and I worked. My wife was in high school. Hey, this is a really good love story. Let's stay with it, okay? Come on. I'll get to that. My wife. That's my youngest son. We were at a Racine in Texas. All right, but that's not the question at hand. It's how I met my wife, right? We met, so my wife was in high school, I was in college. We worked at a store down here. You know where Harbor Freight is? Well, there was a store that was there called Farmore. We worked at the same store together. Yeah, and then we met. And it was love at first sight for her. No offense. Yeah. Yes, last question, Maxwell. Max Verstappen. And yes, we did we saw him race his car right in front of us. Yes, it was awesome. All right. So we're going to get on to the teaching. So we are in the 10 Commandments. All right? One more. Come on, well, you got to stick with it. Let's go. All right, so the last 2 weeks, while I was gone, right, I was serving my suspension, we covered the first 6 commandments. And I'm wondering, we used kind of one word, right, to kind of remember the commandments? Yes? Okay. Does anybody remember what word we used for the first commandment? Heck, does anybody remember what word we used for any of the commandments? Yeah. Yeah, what do you got, Zach? Idol. Sabbath. Name. We're getting out. We're warming up. Honor. Very good. Neighbors. Of course you did. God. Okay, let's see what we got here. God, we got 1. Name, we got 2. We're doing great right now. Sabbath, we said that one. We're doing good. Honor, we're like 4 for 4. Murder, maybe. Well, thank you. And we forgot about adultery. Oh. Jiminy Cricket indeed, yes. So again, we kind of talked through these 6. So, question for you, okay? Pierce, you got to stay with me. We're moving fast here. All right. Of those 6, which do you think is, and it's not a right or wrong answer, I'm just curious, which is the hardest to follow? What do you think? I think you're god darn right. Yeah. I said darn. Yes, that one is a very hard. I find that one very challenging myself. What else? Which one's the hardest one? Invisible Man.
Sabbath.
Why? What makes that hard?
Because I don't think the rest counts.
It's the struggle is real. I get it. Try being old. What do you think? What's the hardest? That one hurts a little bit. Okay. I get it, but still hurts a little bit as a father. But I get it. Okay. All right. How about the other one? Which is the easiest? Well, I mean, if you're not married, adultery's a little bit on the easier side. So I'm gonna be. I agree with you. That's fair. You can get a. That's right. You're darn right. Okay. What else? What do you think is the easiest? What's the easiest for you? We haven't murdered anybody lately. Now remember, murder is not just killing people. Saying mean things, right? Right? Still good. You find that pretty easy? You just did that just so you could get some goldfish. Well, it worked. It's fine. Sure. All right. What about anybody else? What's the easiest for one of the chatty Cathy's up here in front? What's that? Yeah. Okay. But again, it's not just killing people. Right? It's being nice to people. I find that challenging sometimes. All right, so today We talked about 1 through 6. Today we're talking about Commandments 7 and 8. Does anybody know what Commandments 7 and 8 are? Okay, without cheating, does anybody know what Commandments 7 and 8 are? Keep going. So one of the downsides to being 1,000 years old is I can't hear for anything. So you got to be loud. Oh, we are scooching towards 9 and 10. So next week when I ask, that's going to be a great answer. This week, you're just a little bit ahead. All right, what do you think? All right, what do we got? Survey says, stealing and lying. You betcha. All right, so we've got God, name, right? You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not use my Lord's name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Honor your father and mother. Thou shalt not murder. Thou shalt not commit adultery. No stealing. No lying. All right? No. I got to keep them on edge. You'll get what I'm doing. All right. So let's talk about that. Our lesson focus today. This is important. Okay? God calls us to be honest and fair, and to protect both truth and property, always. The most important part about this, always, not sometimes. This is harder than we think. Pierce, hit it. All right. So, we're going to go through some words real quick. Honesty. What does it mean to be honest? What does honesty mean? Go ahead, Evan. Let's see. Survey says, being willing and able to name what you understand to be truthful about a situation. Excellent. Nice job by you. Did you study? Okay. Well, in that case, have some goldfish crackers. Nice job by you. Excellent. Come on, man. All right, next. Truth. We just used the word truthful, right? We used truth in a meaning, or in a definition. What do you got? Yep, you betcha. What's the definition of truth? I love how honesty, the definition is truth, and truth, the definition is honesty. I think that's great. Okay? Facts. So facts are things that are true, right? We have facts and we have fiction. So it refers to facts that we can refer to internal realities that cannot be proven, which is a long way of saying yes, honesty and truthfulness. Okay, what do we got to the next one? This is a tough one. This is one of my favorite words of all time. I love this word. What does the word integrity mean? Go ahead.
Doing the right thing even when no one's watching you or seeing you do the right thing.
That's really good. Pierce, let's see if you got it close to right. And I think that is. Being willing to live by and do and say what you believe. And I think Zach made a really good point, and that is, get my little fiddle out. Yeah. So what Zach said is, even when people aren't watching. How many of you like to do the right thing? How many of you like always or almost always do the right thing? How many of you sometimes do the right thing? Okay, we're getting closer. How many of you once have thought about doing the right thing? Oh my goodness. Wow. We're at church, people. All right. So the idea here is that it's doing the right thing even when nobody's around. So it's not just trying to impress people. It's always doing the right thing. All right, what's our last word? What does it mean to share? What does it mean to share? What do you think, Pierce? No, I want to see the answer. We'll see. Okay, letting others use or have what you consider yours. Absolutely, that's a nice job. It's not candy, but it's still good. All right, it can also mean everyone using something for the common good. Give me an example of something you might share. Give me an example of something you might share. Did you have dinner tonight? You look like you're starving. Yes, go ahead. What's something you might have shared? Really? With who? Well, you just said your food. And you don't want it. It's your brother. What can you say, right? Okay. What else? What else? What are other things that we share? What do you think? You're asking a question or is it an answer? Who do you share pencils with? Like, who are you sharing pencils with these days? That, again, you're asking it as a question. Where did I put my remote? That's the... Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, yes, okay. Okay, so yeah, sharing is really important. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Okay, so we're going to open the Bible. One more. One more. Ah, no, we're not going to open the Bible. We're going to open our hymnals. Gotcha. All right, I want you to open your hymnal to page 1160. If you need reading glasses, please get out your reading glasses as well. Pierce, give me one more. All right, there we go. Just hold that. We'll get there. You're like 4 steps ahead. You're 4 slides ahead. All right. Raise your hand when you are... Dude. Raise your hand when you have found page 1160. Okay. Now look to the right and you'll find page 1161. Okay. Excellent. So, can somebody read for me, in a very brief manner, the 7th commandment? What do you got? Yes. 7th commandment. No, just this, you shall not steal. Exactly. Okay, you're doing great, but I can't keep pointing. You're doing awesome. Really, you are. No. All right. Was ist das? What is this? What does it mean? All right? So, who wants to read a little bit of the 7th commandment? What does it mean? Who wants to read that through? Okay, go ahead. Loud and proud, though. Hold on. Loud.
We are to fear and love God, so that we never take our neighbor's money or property, nor acquire them by using what? Okay, shoddy. I'm trying. What was I? Oh, or
All right. So shoddy merchandise are crooked deals, but instead help them to improve and protect their property and income. All right. What does that mean? So, obviously we know it's, hey, no stealing. By the way, did you see what this is? Yes. That's right. Pretty clever. All right, so no stealing. So when we say no stealing, what do we mean? What should we not do? Well, that's right. So obviously we shouldn't steal, take things from people. What else? Obviously, if I walked up to Willow here and I just so that would be stealing, right? Okay? So if you just walk up to somebody and take their stuff, that's totally stealing. Am I right?
Give her another bag.
What else? What else counts for stealing? Because it's not just taking something from Willow in this case. What else? Give me another example. That's kind of personal. That hits close to home. Yeah, so obviously taking something that physically belongs to somebody else. What else? So consent matters, right? Taking it without their permission. Yeah.
If someone thinks something like, oh, you can have it, but then like they give it, they decide like, oh, no, I'm fine, I want it back.
Yep.
Is that like, if you give it back, does that come with taking it or no?
It's a gray area, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay? So other things that trademarks, okay? Stealing somebody's idea. It might just not be their pretzels, and they're delicious, thank you. Okay? Yes, copyright. So taking somebody's like ideas, dude, you're in church. There we go. If nobody puts their feet up on the pew in church. That's good. All right, what else? Identity theft. Have you ever heard of identity theft? Okay? That's still stealing. It's not their stuff, but it's still stealing. Okay, when you work, okay, I work, right? And I tell people I work for at least 8 hours every day. And they pay me for how many hours a day?
8.
Very good. Yes. What if they paid me for 8, but I kind of only showed up for 6? Yeah. Yes. You're stealing their time and their money. Absolutely. Okay? This is a good one. Anybody know what that is? What is it? Yes, but it's a symbol for a certain website or it's not Google. What do you think? You hit the nail on the head. ChatGPT. How can you cheat or how can you steal? How can you steal using ChatGPT? Who has an idea? How can you steal using ChatGPT? What do you think, Maxwell?
Say you did your homework, but then you technically did it with ChatGPT.
Absolutely, right? You're stealing somebody else's words or ideas. Okay? So it's cheating, but it's also stealing somebody else's words and ideas. Yes? Right. I've used it before. I know. But the difference is claiming it as your own. So just using ChatGPT, hey, people, like, I'm a good person, okay? Really, I'm a good human being. Treat me like one. Just as an example, yes. Absolutely. Absolutely, yep. So there's a lot of, the point is there's a lot of different ways to steal, short of just walking up to Willow and attempting to steal her pretzels, okay? Everybody get the idea of stealing? So again, it's not just taking something from somebody, it might be stealing their ideas, or stealing time, or taking credit for something that's not yours. Yes? So you're going to be surprised to know that I spent about 8 hours creating this image right here. Or maybe I didn't, and I just took it and splattered it on it. No, I didn't call it my own. All right. So if we know what we're not supposed to do, right? What are we supposed to do? What do you think? Yeah? Give people stuff. Absolutely. Sharon. Absolutely. What else? Invisible Man.
Ask before you do it.
Yes. That's a great way to ask before you do it. Yes. What else? Huh? Helping others. Absolutely. I'm old. Absolutely. So improve their property income. And so one way to do that is to donate, right? Share with others. Donate what you have. Honor. Okay? Yes? Oh, we'll get to lying. Don't worry. That's Commandment 8. Hold that thought. Hold that thought. And charity. Does everybody know what charity is? It's kind of tying into donating, right? So rather than taking from people, we can share what we have. All right? So Zach, your question about somebody gave you something, right, and then wants it back, you saying no isn't necessarily stealing, but it's not doing this either. Right? And so as Christians, what we're called to is share what we have. And that would be the right thing to do. Okay? All right, let's talk about the next one. We're still on page 1161. All right. Let's look at the 8th commandment. Who wants to read just the 8th commandment? Just the commandment. Go ahead, Maxwell. You shall not bear false witness. That's a lot of words. You just had one. Bear false witness. What does that even mean? Any idea what does that even mean? What do you think? Yes. Well, that's really good. That's really good. There's a reason for that. So witness means to see something, right? I was a witness to an accident, all right? I saw exactly. I saw the accident. False witness means I'm kind of like not telling the truth about what I saw, right? Okay, let's read about Fascistas. All at once. 1, 2, 3. Fascistas. Absolutely. What does it mean? It means no lying. Let's talk about some more. You want to read a little bit? Loud and proud. Here.
We are to fear and love God so that we do not tell lies about our neighbors, betray or slander them, or disobey their reputations. Instead, we are to come to their defense, speak well of them, and interpret everything they do in the best possible light.
Maybe not eat the microphone. But that was great. That was great. Okay, so when we say no lying, raise your hand if you've ever lied. Edish. Wow. Somebody's going straight, like directly to heaven. We've all lied, right? Okay? It's happened to the best of us. Out of curiosity, raise your hand if you've ever stolen anything. The first thing I ever remember stealing, I think it's the only thing I've ever stolen. I stole a friend's baseball card when I was 7 years old. I really wanted the baseball card. Well, no, he found out. And then he came to my house and he told my mom. It wasn't even a good one. It was a checklist. It was horrible. It was a dumb baseball card. But I wanted it. And then I got in real trouble. What's that? Okay. So, lying is even easier than stealing. Right? Do you have a question or a comment? Okay. All right, so when we talk about lying, no lying. What should we not do? What does this count for? What else? Invisible man. I love double negatives. We shouldn't not say the truth. Absolutely. He is the invisible man. I want you to take note how good that toss was. All right, so we shouldn't tell lies, right? What else? What else? I mean, okay, what about, and I'm just kind of spitballing here, what about little lies? You know, like just fabric, like little white lies. Are those okay? What if you're playing poker? Tell me more. We'll see. Little white lies. Is it okay to do little white lies? Come on, it's just a little. Okay, what else? What do you got? Yep. Blaming someone else. Okay, that's actually good. What else? That's just a flat out lie, isn't it? Yeah, saying you did something that you didn't do. What else? Oh, we're going to get to that. But before, what is this guy doing? Yes, exaggeration. Is exaggeration a lie? Kind of is, right? If I told you when I was down in Texas, I got to meet Max Verstappen. He's a famous race car driver, right? And instead of meeting him, I actually just saw him drive his car by us. It's kind of not the same, is it? Right? Sounds great. Good story. But exaggerations are lying. Do you guys exaggerate at all? I know people, I have friends of mine who love to exaggerate. Everything is the biggest or the greatest or they love exaggerating. All right? But it's still no lying. Okay. Somebody mentioned earlier. What's this guy doing? Yes, gossip. How many of you like to, seriously, raise your hand if you like to gossip. I like the people, I really do. I'm going to pick on you. The people, when I say raise your hand, who do this. It's great. It's classic. It's really good. Gossip is fun, right? Okay? Who likes to, say things about other people that's kind of cool that nobody knows? All right? But gossip is spreading sometimes false statements as well. All right? Well, this guy. He's not saying. We call it the lie of omission. Okay? So if I know something, okay, I'm trying to think of a good example. All right. I know that as usual, Zach left his candy wrapper on the floor. I know. Am I right? Right? Okay? But I don't say, hey, Beth Ann, like they're really leaving candy wrappers on the floor. Okay? By not saying something, it's still lying. Okay? Lies of omission. They are, yes. There's always gray areas, right? So it's not always as easy as yes and no and always and never. Okay? And sometimes there are gray areas like that, right? So if telling the truth would hurt somebody, should you always tell the truth? Well, that's kind of a gray area, right? And there's not always an easy right answer or an easy wrong answer. Yes?
What if, say for the candy example, like we were talking about, I just wasn't about it. What if it's something that the person just doesn't need to know? Right?
Again, gray area. The idea isn't that you walk around with a megaphone just saying everything that somebody does, right? But if there's a right or a wrong, and the right is telling somebody, and the wrong is not telling somebody, and you know right and wrong, right? Sometimes you do. If your parent, your mother, let's say, asked you about your brother, your other brother maybe, and you're trying to protect him, right? It's like, no, he didn't break that. Or you just didn't say, hey, Mom, he broke that. Lie of omission. Right and wrong. I've opened up a can of worms. Okay, Steenrod boys, my apologies. So here's the thing. If we're not going to lie, what should we do instead? What should we do instead? Honesty, right? Truth. Yes. What else? What else? Absolutely. Just stay away from the gossiping. Yes. What else? Be true to yourself. This idea of integrity, right? We talked about integrity being the things that we should be doing all the time, even if nobody is listening. And that's exactly what I mean. Absolutely. And sincerity, right? Being who you are. Yes. What else? We'll get to that. All right, so we're supposed to remember this word that we saw earlier? Not sometimes. Should we sometimes tell the truth, but it's okay to sometimes lie?
Yeah.
No. What if should we sometimes not steal, but sometimes it's okay to take things? I'm begging you to. I'm begging. Maxwell, do I have to get on my knees to beg? It's just between you and me. I'm begging you. Please pay attention. Thank you. All right. We talk about always be fair and honest. Right? Yes. Yes. Again, we can do a lot of scenarios where it's what ifs, right? And the point of this isn't to say that it's always going to be easy to decide what the right thing to do is. Okay? If it's protecting somebody, it's probably the right thing to do, right? But again, if you're taking poison from somebody, it's probably not stealing either. See the difference? Okay. Question? Air we share. Air is something that we share. We have it all. Okay? So, but let me ask you this. If I'm supposed to always be fair, honest, and truthful, does that mean I'm supposed to be perfect? I'm always supposed to be honest and truthful. Oh, we have a posit here that humans can never be perfect. But I'm always supposed to be fair and honest. So what do? So that's a great answer. Thank you. Would you like some goldfish? So, we try as hard as we can. Okay? Does God expect us to be perfect?
No.
Really? Okay, yes, you're right. God does not expect us to be perfect. Okay? And so we know that we're going to make mistakes. All right? But the goal is to try to do the right thing. Right? To know right and wrong. Know that we shouldn't steal from people, whether it's ideas, or whether it's possessions, or whether it's time. And we should be truthful, right? Sometimes is it hard? Sometimes is it really, really hard? Okay? Yes. Even as adults, for the adults, stealing and lying, sometimes is it hard? I will tell you, as an adult, it's still hard. Yes, it is still hard. Okay? And so, even as adults, we try to do the right thing as often as possible, knowing that we are not perfect. Yes?
I have a question, like scenario.
Yep.
Say some people lost someone and then they threw away their trash cans. Is it still, you still can't take it, right? Or is it like still theirs or not?
I love these. I really do. So, my suggestion would be if they threw it away, they no longer want possession of it. And so if you want to dig through their garbage, God bless you. All right. With that, these are true, false. So I want a show of hands. Okay? Raise your hand if you think this is awesome. Raise your hand if you think the next statement is true. Not yet. You haven't seen the statement yet. You can always tell when someone is a thief by the way he or she looks. Raise your hand if you think that's true. What does he look like? No. So it's false, right? You never know who's going to look like a thief, right? Because let's face it, we've all raised our hand that we've taken something. Okay? We're all different. All right. Raise your hand if you think this is true. Stealing is always something someone does intentionally or on purpose. Raise your hand if you think that's true. Raise your hand like to this high if you aren't sure. Right, I like that. Okay. It's actually false. We can steal even without it being on purpose. Okay? Now, when I went and took Willow's pretzels, I'm telling you, 100% on purpose. Okay, it really was. All right? But sometimes we might steal something like an idea from someone that we didn't even know about. Okay? All right. Raise your hand if you think this is true. Taxes are the way the government steals. I think that's funny. I really do. Are taxes a way that the government steals from us? Actually, not really. Okay? I volunteer for junior achievement, and in second grade, we teach about what taxes go for. And they are used to pay things like police officers and librarians and public school teachers. That's awesome. Good news. So yes, taxes are not a way the government steals. Number 4, churches are doing God's work, so they don't have to follow copyright rules. True or false? Absolutely. Even churches, even if they're doing God's work, should follow the 10 Commandments. In fact, especially churches should follow the 10 Commandments. All right. It is okay to just go to a new video. This is so dated. This is hilarious to me. Nobody even knows what this even means. It's okay to just go to a new video store to avoid paying late fees at another store. I'm not even thinking what the current example of this is. True or false? No, it's not okay. No, it's not. If you owe a late fee, then you're stealing by not...
It's like a bunch of free trials.
Yes, free trials. Thank you. It was a bad question. All right, bearing false witness includes betraying information that was shared with you in confidence. Is that the same thing as lying? If somebody tells you a secret and you tell somebody else, thou shalt not lie, does that apply to that? It does. It's like gossip and spreading rumors. Yes, telling somebody something that is shared in confidence absolutely is breaking that commandment. All right, lying and gossiping are good ways to create reliable order and structure in society. Yes, bingo, as they like to say, false. Okay, and the last one, it's easy to break these commandments. You don't even have to say a word. Raise your hand if you think it's true. Absolutely. It is easy to break these commandments. These are two of the easiest ones to break. Okay? Yes.
You know, like how murdering something you probably should not do.
I think that's safe to say. You know what? That is a question that is going to take longer to answer than the 14 seconds that I have left. Well, I'll touch base on you on that at a different point. So, all right, stealing, lying, don't do them. You guys can talk more about that in your small groups, okay? All right, have a good night, everyone. Whoa, stop!
Can you take a picture of everybody with you in it, Scott, please? Please, I know. Yeah, come on, I need to take a picture with Scott. Yes, I don't think that's right. Yeah, that's what I asked you. Are you guys and gals, everybody at the stage? Connie, your child.